Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that two of the world's most overlooked currencies, the Vietnamese dong and the Iraqi dinar, have just made headlines in a way no one could have imagined? From pennies to dollars, they've hit record highs, and the buzz is spreading like wildfire. Today, 2025, the talk is all about a possible global shift in money power after the United States reportedly accepted the dong, sparking speculation that the dinar could be next. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Whispers of the dong soaring to $39 and the dinar reaching $4.18 have shaken online communities worldwide. Could this be the long-awaited moment currency holders have been dreaming of? Could this signal the start of a larger economic reset? Stay with us as we unpack the facts, the rumors, and the excitement that has the financial world on edge. The Vietnamese dong, once dismissed as a currency of little global weight, is suddenly at the center of international attention. For years, investors and everyday people alike have held on to dong notes, hoping that one day their value might change. Now, with figures like $39 being mentioned in serious conversations, those hopes are turning into intense discussions about what comes next. The United States' reported acceptance of the dong as a valid trade currency has been the catalyst for this frenzy. Acceptance by such a large and influential economy doesn't just make headlines. It sends a signal of legitimacy to the entire world. This kind of recognition can create ripple effects, influencing how other nations and investors view a currency. For the dong, this moment could mark a turning point that redefines its role on the global stage. But the story doesn't stop there. Alongside the dong, the Iraqi dinar is catching fire in speculation circles. Numbers like $4.18 are circulating, igniting excitement among holders who have been waiting for years for such a revaluation. The idea that both the dong and the dinar could rise together has created what some call a dual wave of opportunity. This is more than just currency chatter. It's the kind of financial news that inspires people to dream big. Imagine a currency you bought for pennies suddenly giving you the kind of purchasing power you never thought possible. This is why social media is exploding with posts, videos, and live discussions about these currencies. Every mention of the numbers brings fresh energy to a growing community of believers who feel that change is no longer just possible, it's within reach. What makes this moment so unique is the connection to U.S. acceptance. The phrase direct acceptance is being repeated in almost every discussion, and for good reason. When a currency is directly accepted by the world's largest economy, it sends a strong message. This is not a temporary spike, this is official. Recognition often leads to stability. That's why people are not just watching the numbers, they're paying attention to the signals behind them. In today's interconnected global economy, trust matters more than anything. If the U.S. is willing to accept the dong now, some believe it's only a matter of time before similar moves are made with the dinar. That possibility alone has created a wave of hope and planning among those who have held on to these currencies for years. For many people, this news isn't just about money, it's about freedom. When you hear figures like $3, $4, or even $39 for a currency you already own, you can't help but imagine the possibilities. Paying off your home, clearing credit card debt, helping your children through school, traveling to places you've always dreamed about. These are not just daydreams anymore. They are detailed visions of life after a financial breakthrough. And while skeptics warn that these numbers may be exaggerated or premature, the truth is that once hope takes root, it's very hard to shake. This is why the talk spreads so quickly. From living rooms to coffee shops to online forums, people are connecting over a shared sense that something big is on the horizon. And they don't want to miss it. Let's break down what a currency revaluation really means. When a country raises the value of its currency, it changes the game for imports, exports, and international trade. A stronger currency makes imported goods cheaper, but it can also make that country's exports more expensive. This is why not every nation rushes to increase its currency's value for export-heavy economies. Too much appreciation can hurt sales abroad. But for countries like Vietnam and Iraq, raising the value could be a strategic move to attract investment, build economic confidence, and strengthen their position in global trade. The key here is timing and political will. And if the timing is right, the rewards could be massive for both the nation and the individuals holding its currency. Now, tariffs play an interesting role in this discussion. When tariffs are imposed, the rates are not the same for every country. Some countries face higher penalties, while others are barely touched. Why? Often, it's because of currency value. When a nation keeps its currency undervalued for too long, it can become a target in trade negotiations. The message from larger economies is clear: participate fairly in the international market or face consequences. This is why a currency revaluation can be a smart defensive move. It sends a message that the country is ready to play ball in global trade, which can open the door to better deals, more investment, and stronger economic ties. Looking at the global economic climate in 2025, countries with weaker currencies are under more pressure than ever. The investors, traders, and international partners want stability, and they want proof of a strong economy before they commit resources. A currency that's seen as unstable can scare away foreign investment. On the other hand, when a country's currency begins to rise in value, it sends a signal of growth, stability, and opportunity. That's exactly why the dong's surge and the dinar's rumored revaluation are making headlines right now. For both Vietnam and Iraq, this could be a chance to reshape their image in the global marketplace and secure long-term economic gains. So how does a country actually raise the value of its currency? It starts with smart economic policy. Building infrastructure, improving education, attracting foreign businesses, and boosting productivity are all key steps. Transparency is also crucial. When the global market trusts a country's data, reports, and leadership, confidence rises, and so does the currency. For Iraq and Vietnam, this could mean working closely with international trade partners, modernizing their economies, and making sure they're seen as reliable players on the global stage. And now, with the US showing signs of acceptance for the dong, many believe these steps are already in motion. The emotional side of this story cannot be ignored. For years, people have been holding on to their dong and dinar, sometimes facing criticism or doubt from friends and family. Many bought these currencies at very low rates, hoping for the day they would rise. Now, as whispers turn into full-blown speculation, these same people are daring to believe again. They're making lists of what they'll do first when the revaluation happens. Some plan to pay off debts, others want to start businesses, and many dream of helping their families live without financial fear. This sense of shared hope is powerful. It's what keeps the conversation alive even without official confirmation. Communities online are becoming more active than ever. Forums dedicated to currency revaluation are filled with posts tracking every rumor, every new number, and every sign of US involvement. Social media groups are buzzing with live updates, personal stories, and even countdowns to when people think the changes might take place. It's a unique kind of global community, one built on the shared belief that change is coming. And while not everyone agrees on the exact figures or the timeline, the one thing they all agree on is that the momentum feels different this time. Something about 2025 has given this conversation new life and urgency. The big question now is, how real is all this? While official confirmation is still limited. The fact that the United States is reportedly accepting the dong has already shifted perception. Once a currency gains recognition from a global power, the path for others, like the dinar, becomes much clearer. The financial world runs on confidence, and confidence often starts with a single major player saying yes. Whether this revaluation happens overnight or in gradual steps, the signs suggest that both Vietnam and Iraq are preparing for big moves. And when those moves come, they could redefine wealth for millions of people, as we watch the dong and dinar make headlines. In 2025, it's clear this is more than just a story about currency values. It's about hope, opportunity, and the belief that long overlooked nations can rise into global recognition. It's about people holding on to a dream for years and finally feeling like the moment is near. From pennies to dollars, the numbers being whispered today could turn into the reality of tomorrow. And while no one can predict the exact date or time, one thing is certain: the world is paying attention now. This is a financial story with the power to change lives, and every day the anticipation grows. So stay tuned, because if these numbers hold, we could be witnessing one of the most dramatic shifts in currency history.